Hey people, it's Saturday. It is 1:23 p.m. and we're out for another hike, and we got our potatoes and here's our tree. It's still alive, still kicking. Just a little damage from the fall. Busy today here, Saturday. Like a lot of people heading to camp down here. Heading off to camp. Getting towards that last month of summer. Might be busy out here today. Hey buddy, that's a nice bird right there. Yeah, it is. I'm just kind of gonna hang in this area until we finish our smoke, because I think it's gonna be busy out there. You can see that's already the second or third set of people I've seen walking through. They don't come this way usually. This is the way into the camper where I live, so I don't live in the camp, but I wish. But thinking a lot about the word beat today, again, and the heartbeat, and a song, like the beat goes on, you know, like the rhythm, the beat, breath, spirit. I was able to link all these words together. I had to write it all out. I don't have it in front of me, so it's kind of hard to recall it all, but they definitely all link together. I hear a woodpecker. I do, I hear a woodpecker. Wonder if we will see him or her. They're tough to spot, I tell you. Oh, look at that bird, it's beautiful. Hey, buddy. He's got stripes on his back, or if he turns around a little. Coming to visit. I hear the woodpecker right there, pecking away. Look at this little guy. What are you doing? He's going upside down and stuff. He's just playing, I think. Either that or he found something to eat. You gonna poop on me? Don't poop on me. Ooh. Come right down at us. Swooping. What are you eating off of there? Are you eating spiders? There's a lot of spiders and stuff on these trees. There's just a lot of bugs, I guess, in general on these trees. There are. He's just picking it clean. He's going to town. It's a cool little bird. He does not seem to care much about me being next to him at all. He is just eating away. He's fast, too. That's probably why I don't care. He's like, he can't catch me. He's a fast little guy. Agile. beating their wings, man. It reminds me like an angel beats its wings. That bird just made me think of that, about beating. I wasn't even, that was one, it's a piece of my word string that was missing, actually, that links more to parts to the angel, with beating of the wings, flapping, beating wings. The heartbeat. Look at the squirrels. Hey, buddy. Little chipmunk. Oh, it's a little tiny chipmunk. What are you doing? Hi. Oh my god, he's so cute. See ya. So beaten, I mean, it's crazy how you can just keep going with it. And this relates to the Son, to God, to the Christ, to the because the big thing about Christ is he came here and he was punished, right? I mean, he was beaten. I'm sure you've seen the Passion of the Christ or read about the crucifixion of the Christ, when Jesus getting flogged and beaten and then made to carry that cross until finally he was then, killed and then reborn again, death and then birth. It's like a process. But we can link these words. I mean, because what else was Jesus? Jesus was love, right? So if Jesus was love, there's a word for love. It's Gaol. Jail. Look it up. It means jail. It really does, like a prison. But it means love, and it means the connection between things. The connection between all things, kinship, and literally love, as in like I love you. And in some languages, it's a deeper form meaning of the word love. It's more like an intimate, like a deeper form of saying I love you, versus saying like I love that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I love that kind of music. It's more like I love you. Thou art love. So, you got jail, right? In love. You got the Son. You got Jesus. And you got God, right? So far. And beaten. He was beaten. And love comes, right? Symbol with the heart. The heart beats, right? Heart beaten. Love. Jail. So the heart is a cell, right? Battery means to be beaten. Battery, beaten. It's your battery. It's your power source, basically. It's like your generator. Cell is jail. Love. Jesus. Beaten. Beating heart. Right? B. Aten. Aten is the sun. If you look up, it's the old god, sun. Considered God. It's an eye. It's also Horus. I think the same thing as basically Horus. Sun god. But Horus links to Jesus. Anyway, in the I, J, G, Sus. Jesus, Isus, is us. Is us. Us. It eventually leads to it's us. You, me, we, I, is us. But, where were we? So, This is tough without words in front of me. It's not how I break down words usually. I mean, I usually break down in my mind, but not to try to say it out. Like, I've already got the ending in my mind. The way I got there is harder to explain, but it's there. But we'll try. So, you got beaten, be a 10, which is the sun, or the same as Jesus. So fits theme so far: beating heart, beaten, love, God, basically. And then we have be aten, like Eden, the garden, Eden, and aten, like Kronos eats his children, aten, to be eaten. So, which fits, you'll see too, which if I can get there, but Kronos fits into the same words, like it's the same, saying the same thing. It'll agree with this whole analogy. Especially when you get to the eye and the watch and horus and hours and the sea. But Kronos links to Horus through Zoronos and Zoros into Horus. Which Horus eventually links into horticulture, hortus, hortus, to garden, Eden. So that's to be eaten, Eden. Be a 10, be a 10. What's that mean? To be a 10. It's perfect. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's the last number. It's 1 to 10. It's comes from tine, was where we get tine. It's the pinnacle or the peak. It means pinnacle or the peak. And peak relates to see. When you peek, you can see something if you peek at it. The peak, you'll see, will relate to spirit. And that'll also relate to a spear and a sphere, like a circle, a sphere, spirit, a ring, right, which is a circle, but it's also a tone. A ring is a tone, or at one, or to be sorry, or actually it's to forgive. To be forgiven, you need to be sorry, or sword. But another thing is the ring, or a tone. A ring is a band, right? And abandon, a band on, to have a band on, to be abandoned, or a band on. That's what you see, like a halo, right? An angel, abandon, a band on. Which the definition, N-G-E-L, which is angel, or angel. You can follow the words that it stems from and what other words it links to and created and made. It does eventually make the actual word angel that you're familiar with, and angler, or fisherman, and angler, and angle. But we'll stick with N-G-E-L, angel, because it sounds like in jail, in love, in jail, in the battery, the cell, the beaten, your heart, in the heart, in the hearth. Let's see, heart next to hearth, to the fire, your engine, your battery, your power source. So an angel also, it means you and I. That's the definition of it, you and I. which is the same thing that the words we're going to lead to mean. Like G, J, E, the beginning of Jesus means you and I, and we, you and I. And an I, like the kind of eye you see with. So where were we, right? This is where it's harder for me. It's just to remember where I leave off. What part of the chain of the thought I'm in without it written down in front of me. Oh, angel. So, it means you and I. It means to flunk and fail, to be left behind, which fits with abandon, right? Abandon and atone at one, in jail, beaten, sun. Horus, one eye, just one eye, you know. Okay, so, and it means the child, right? Be eaten. Chronos eating his children. Time, Father Time. The watch, the circle, the ring. But we'll get there. The sea. I think we'll get there. So, be a 10, right? Be the pinnacle. Be the peak. Point. Single point. It's at one, right? A point is a period dot. If you know, like, in geometry, it's a single point. It's infinite. It's just a single point. There's nothing else. It's a period, too. We use it as a period. Yeah, periods have a lot of meanings. But one of them's just an age, right? Period, an age, like a period of time. An eon. Eon is an anagram of one. Again, back to atone at one, the ring. It's also an anagram of Neo, right? That popular character in the Matrix, Neo. One, Neo, eon, period, one single point, focused point, focal point. So we get all this right. Be a 10, be a tine, point, a focal point. Or the pinnacle, the peak. It's also a climax. Basically, the crescendo. You know. So be a 10, be eaten, beaten. Beaten wings, right? Which started the thought here, that bird. Beaten wings, the angel. The glass. All right, so what else is spear? Right? Spear is an interesting word. It's a circle. And also close to the word spear. Like there's a sphere, spear, like a spirit. That point. It's also a fork, right? You can see the word pier in there. It's kind of like a combination of spear, which has pier in it. The peak, right? A tine is a spear. The peak, to peer, if you peer at something. Spear, the pinnacle, the peak. Kind of see the words in there. You start looking at the etymology. So an interesting word we'll get to then will be one is J-E-G. It's also G-E, and is where the root of where we get the word geo, which means is a ground, earth. Earth, right, is a sphere. It's the world. It's round, world, wound, whined, winding. Right? And remember, wine links to atonement. Atone. If you know the Bible, wine cleanses. This is my blood. And to whine is to be sorry. It's to confess. It's sword, to be sword, which is also, a blade, a sword. Be sorry for your sins, which are also considered like stones. Things that weigh you down are stones. And so is the world, right? It's the big third rock from the sun. It's stone, rock. It's the world. It's the wound, a wound. Stone, to be stashed away, or stone. Stone also, if you look up the etymology of the word seeman, it means stone and sewn. Sewn and stone. And glue. What's glue? Sticks, right? Glue sticks. Just like a spear or a spirit, a pinnacle, point, a peak, a time, 10, aten, the sun, God, the highest point. Right, and to be stuck, a spear, to be stuck, like in jail, to be left behind, stuck, flunk, to be stuck, or glue, the seeman, glue. Where was I going with this? It also, it means to be bound. It's like stuck together. And a ring usually symbolizes that too, right? Like mare, age, marriage, marriage. And you'll see mare relates to whore, like a nightmare, whore, and horus, hours. It also relates to the sea, and the eye, and the watch. But we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there. It's a lot. It's a lot to get there. So I'm pretty high, too. Kind of zoning out. It's like I know where I want to go, but making sure I don't leave anything, like trying to take the right path and where I left off. What direction do I want to go? Alright, so to be stuck, they're bound in that ring. It's also considered like a promise ring, pretty familiar thing, right? Or to be bound to is to give your word or a promise. That's word. Like promise is a word. My word is a promise. So there kind of ties those together, to be bound or word. I'm sure you've heard word is bond, right? It's a pretty common saying, especially in like rap music. Word is bond. I think that's true. And pro-mise, right? Mise. Eyes, my eyes, mise. And the eyes, mise is to hoard something, right? If you hoard it, Yeah. Also, if you hoard like a nightmare, something, but it's also misery or misery. To be in horror is to be in misery. Misery. Coming back to being beaten, right? Look at that bug. It's dead, but he's really pretty. I have to zoom in. It's a really colorful, like, beetle or something. See, he's pretty. He did die. Beetles, right? That relates to right there, the beetle. I'm sure you've seen the scarab, the scar, the wound, the wound, the scarab beetle. L, beat L. L is another word for God, too. If you look at L, this means Lord, God, deity. So where were we before we saw the beetle? Oh, the word, bound. Words form a sentence, right? Which relates to jail, which, remember, means love, the connection between things, to be bound, the connection between things. Jail, love. Word, promise. Those form. Okay, so I guess, see, this is where if the words are in front of me, there wouldn't be a pause here because I wouldn't have to remember where I am. My brain doesn't work that way, people. But the sentence, the words form a sentence, right? Back to like I just explained, the jail. So if words form a sentence, and your sentence ends with a period, right? Remember the period, an age, an eon, a single point, the spirit. Life. Spirit's considered like life, spirit, breath. Almost as if we're suffocating now. And at that point, will be breath, be able to breathe. An end. Another word for an end is a goal. And the word goal relates to it's G-O-A-L. It does relate phonetically, or in etymology-wise, to G-A-O-L, jail, and goal, the end, the point. They're often confused, misspelled. I mean, they're anagrams, right? Just the one letter reversed, the two letters, A and O. But point sounds like the point of no return, right? Like the end, the goal. And if you did that, it would be gold, past tense. If you scored the goal, it is now gold, right? Think of gold, like, and how we kind of equate that with the 10, and the point, the pinnacle, the peak, the gold medal, silver, bronze, right? Like it's the top. It relates. So, if you scored something, right, marked it, scored it, nicked it, you would scored a point. Past tense, gold. Also would be you won, or W-O-N, won. Remember, and which still links. Remember, we're still all sticking with the same. We started with beaten. And remember how we got to neo and one and atone at one at one. So the gold, one. It also would be wind, right? I mean, that might not be a word, but it is. If you think about it, you know how words make sense. That's wind. If you won, you wind it. You won, wind, whined. And you'll be able to see how it relates with the other words that we were still using, that they all, it does mean that, because they come from all the same kind of the word. So, whined, like a tone with the wine again, right? Or the world, wound, whined. Or weyd, W-E-Y-D, which means to see. But it comes from W-Y-D-D, wide, which means also loom and to turn. Weave, like to weave, the loom. Which also gives us G, W-Y-D-D, gwydd, good, wood. It's wood. It means tree. But it also comes from the same word, and it means to see. And it gives us stick. The word stick comes from it, back to the tine, the pinnacle, the peak, the point. Stick. And the tree, think like the tree of life. Branch, stick, wood, gwydd, God. Weed, weyd, wide, wydd us is the word that it leads from. Weyd us. It means to see as well, right? Which is the same as, remember, J-E also means to see, which also is G-E, geo, world, wound, the sea. The world is mostly water, too, the sea, the mare. The horse means like a horse, too, like a stallion, like a horse. You ride a horse. It used to mean both. The old word mare just meant horse. It was both male and female. I believe today we consider it the female, but it used to be both. That is a shotgun shell. A spent shotgun shell. Huh. Strange. So, where were we? I don't know if we're going to get there, people, honestly, in this video. But we've made some progress, that's for sure. Oh yeah, we're going to like weyd. Then to the weyd, good, wood, good, God. To the tree, to the branch, to the stick. It also means a loom, to weave, wind, turn. I just had it, and then that car made me lose it. Where I was going to go. I knew where I was going. Oh. Wind. The wind, remember wind, the gold, wind, the point, the time, beaten, be a 10. So wind, W-E-N-D, wind, goes into wind and wind, and it goes into wand. And also you'll see the word stick, both come from wide and wind, to see. It comes from a wand, which means also we get wander and ponder, muse, words like that. But the wand stick goes into rod. Actually, it also means wand is rod. So, whined, wound, world. A wheel, rod and wheel. You got the heart, hearth, fire, the energy source, rod, reel, wheel. Reel, we haven't got the reel yet, but the reel links in with the angler and the fish, the spear. To spear something can also mean to fish it out, like if you spear it, it's to fish. We need a goldfish. Wonder, W-O-N-D-E-R, wonder, number one, tone, wind, whined, gold, one, wonder. Wander. To see means to see. Weyd, widest. Good, wood, God, stick, branch, spirit, breath, life, word, spoke, spoken, spirit, spoke. Stuck, promise, bound. Oh, hey, baby. Word. To be born, French, the word born means a stud, post, a boundary stone, an aerial antenna, post, delimiter, fence. I see how none of these words we're getting to, how they link a ring and a circle and wound, whined, and a boundary stone. A limiting circle. That's the definition of horizon. Look at horizon. Comes from the word boundary and circle. It's the limiting circle. It's horizon. Horus, right? Remember Horus, the eye, and hours, and whores, mares. Misery, promise, word, bound. Jail, love. Now, I kind of lost where I started with that train of thought. I know where we can maybe go with it. There was something about the circle, right? I was just saying. I was making a reference back to the circle. The ring. The boundary stone. That's it. That's where I was. It means to be born. So, limiting circle. It's your horizon, which is as far as you can see, right? And to see, we get into that word more. we'll start to get into the word light and photo. Remember that word weyd, to see. You want to be light. So, see with the eye, which links to Horus. It really does through entomology, too. I forget the exact link. I have them at home. I mean, I've written them down, looked through them, looked up the words. But you can get there from horizon to Horus through some help with J, G, and good and wood, wand and wound. From Horus to hortus, horticulture, the garden, right? A garden is a fence. It means a fenced-in yard. You see the boundary, limiting the horizon. It's the fence that closes in the garden, or time. It links to Chronos, eventually, or Father Time, that which encloses all the garden. Eaten, be eaten, beaten. Beat. The tune, the song, S-O-N, the sun, with the G on the right, sun, song. Sing, S-I-N, sin, with the G on it, sing. Sing means to confess. Sin, sun, sing. Sung. Like songbirds, jailbirds. Words all relate. Something in my shoe. Hold up. Pause. Alright. I just had a big needle in my shoe. Well, you can even get to that from here. The needle, from the point, and the peak, and the tine, and the eye of the needle, the thread, and the loom, and the weaving. Everything relates. It all links. It all comes back to one, at one. Atone, the limiting circle. As far as you can perceive, or see, or believe. To be, believe, believing, right? The point, the pinnacle, the peak, the period, the goal, the end. I have another thorn in my shoe. Wow. Maybe there was two of them and I only got one. Crazy. I'm gonna try and just eat the pain. Pain, repain, atone. Beaten. Beaten, that battery, right? The cell. You sell something, you sold it. Your soul, sold. It's a bargain, bar, gain bars. Bars also relate to singing, song, music, notes or debts, marks, bills, notes. Yeah. We made it through a lot. I'm actually going to stop here and head home. But I did get through quite a bit, but nowhere near all of it. But peace out, people.